Glaive recently dropped his album May It Never Falter following his 2023 album I Care So Much That I Don't Care At All. This album moves in a much different direction. Glaive has gone in this independent, experimental, abstract kind of direction with his music. You no longer can categorize what genre he fits in. Coming up as more known hyper-pop artist from his early work like Cypress Grove and Old Dog New Tricks, moving to a more indie rock type of vibe with I Care So Much That I Don't Care At All. Earlier this year, he dropped a phenomenal EP called A Bit of a Mad One, where we saw this new direction being played with, as well as his other persona, Ovine Hall, dropping many unique, interesting pieces from these two names. May It Never Falter is such a nice blend. It shows the side of Glaive that we've seen over the years of his musical journey while at the same time reinventing himself. He has mentioned in the past that every album he creates will gain and lose fans. Each will be different. He makes music, not a specific genre, just music. May It Never Falter has a really good reception since its release. I do not see this splitting the fan base the same way I Care So Much That I Don't Care At All did. With that being said, hello. I'm Buddy Cake Breakdowns, and today's breakdown is Glaive, May It Never Falter. Let's get into it with track 1, For God and Country. The song begins with beautiful piano, and in Latin we hear a beautiful choir singing a translation of the song's title, For God and Country. The piano has a light tone as we hear Glaive's first verse. He reflects on times he had when he was younger, people calling him mature, but knowing he tried to kill himself at only 10 years old, even attempting multiple suicides. A very honest and harsh way to start off the album. This shows us that he does not feel he is mature. He speaks on the way that he feels that nobody will understand him, who he is, what he thinks, etc. Saying that if someone even tries to understand him and his problems, that's all that matters. It is the best he will get out of someone. He thinks of all the things he would miss out on if he did in fact die, showing his growth and a more appreciated side of life. In death, he would never get his car, never meet his friends, and never gotten to see his mom again. He talks about someone calling him selfish, admitting he may in fact just be that, saying the means will justify the end, an idiom used to describe a result you wanted that was obtained through any type of method, good or bad. Glaive has been really into mentioning crests in his music career over the last year or so, and he does so here, saying he will live forever through the crest. The instrumental dies down before getting these very heavy, beautiful choirs. I said it in my ranking for these songs. This felt very Quedeca inspired to me, and whether that's the case or not, it's definitely similar, and I absolutely love that, and I love the way this sounds. It's such a powerful, beautiful, and truly heavenly track, which is so on theme for it. We get these hi-hats cutting into the beat where Glaive's next verse begins. He says you could find peace inside yourself, being more content and happy with who you are. He reflects on times he was screaming for help and never getting it, having to deal with his struggle on his own. He has the most impactful line on this entire song for me, saying he used to die for someone, questioning why he would die for someone else. This is a good callback to his song off A Bit of a Mad One, where he speaks on dying for someone if they asked him to, showing his growth even since then. This shows he has matured, no longer dying for someone, as life is so much more than just having a partner or whatever the case may be. This line hits so hard. Speaking of hitting hard, hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. We get this super heavy instrumental drop where he says it just isn't over yet. He says it's bound to happen someday, this likely being death, but thanking God it isn't today, as he values and appreciates his life now. Again, showing that growth. This is a major contrast to his last record, I Care So Much That I Don't Care At All, where the first song is literally about wanting to commit suicide. So this is my all-time favorite Glaive song now. I think it's truly a masterpiece. 60,000 ISK is such a different vibe. It starts with this honestly kind of terrifying vocal and atmosphere. I don't know. Creepy. In a rough translation from Icelandic to English, it says armor, horses, everything is fine. I read it and weep, but I'm more than content with it. We hear the album name May It Never Falter, and he references his track I Don't Really Feel It Anymore, where he states he was lying and saying that. Maybe just a feeling he had during the time to mask his true feelings during that song. The chorus jumps into this big, distorted, banging chorus repeating 60,000 ISK, which is Icelandic currency. This was one of the first songs Glaive made for this project, getting its title from the fact they spent 60,000 ISK at the store in preparation for this album. 60,000 ISK sounds insane, but it's really only about $433 US. Saying he could waste his whole life just thinking about dying, ending the verse with him crossing his fingers he hopes to keep living on. He also mentions being his father's only son. He is the only one carrying that family name, the last of his bloodline essentially. The verse states that a normal common factor of his living comes across foreign to others, showing his lifestyle isn't normal to most people. A subtle little flex. He has a cheeky line about blushing due to the way someone is looking at him. Sorry, Glavey boy, I know this is in reference to when you saw me at your concert. We locked eyes. Surely this is about me. Anywho, he loves things that only happen once, which is a tough feeling because you'll long to feel for it again. Another line about being a parent's only son, this time as his mother, stating he needs to get it done, likely providing and succeeding, supporting his family while she keeps her son safe, but not liking to drive with him as he does not use the brakes. Driving, dangerous. Glaive, not with your mother in the car. The best part of this song, in my opinion, is where the beat quiets down and he says 60,000 last month, I ain't talking ISK, huh. showing he made $60,000 just last month, another flex in the song, before the chorus comes back with heavy distortion. This song is just a short, fun little banger and will go absolutely nuts live. I'll see you January 10th and 11th, baby boy. Count It Up is one of my favorite songs on this entire project. It's so hype, Count It Up likely pointing towards counting up his money, asking not to be let go, whether this is let go from a person or the money is not mentioned, but it's probably both. Considering the next line is, pray my wallet never folds, which is kind of a fun lyric because you close a wallet and it folds. I think the chorus to this song is amazing. I love his vocals during it, stating you either get it or you don't, asking you to tell him the truth or the answer, because if you don't, he will assume it's just a no, which is a very relatable line. He speaks on how pain is involved in everything in life, saying you need to let that fact go, mentioning he is a mirror image of his friends, showing the level of connection he has with them. In the next verse, he speaks on living and dying. You see your whole life flash before your eyes as you go. He speaks on being rigid in one's arms, meaning unable to change or adapt. He says such is life, a phrase commonly used and even tattooed on him, explaining the line got it written on my arm. He says he was ready to die but found solace in the art, meaning he found comfort when feeling this way through art, maybe in the form of his music. He found comfort in the darkness. He shouts out Silver, which is his group of the producer tag Slow Silver 03, which we hear a lot in his Ovine Hall tracks and even some tracks on this album. He ends the song saying if he can't bring his weird friends, he won't go, showing his support and love to his friends. This feels like such a throw-in line, like he last minute added it, but I love it, it's so awesome. I Know is one of my favorite songs on here. It has such a vibe, the lyrics are amazing, it feels very standout on this album. He opens the song saying he doesn't like when the car goes too fast, showing a distaste for some lavish lifestyles we see presented to us on things like social media. He has maybe the most relatable lyrics ever on this track. He speaks on being nervous around pretty girls, so he just leaves to avoid the confrontation and possible anxiety and embarrassment, leading the girl to just think he's stupid for doing so. He tells people he is unemployed, questioning why he did that. This shows Glaive has a hard time being himself and showing his true self to people. The chorus is so insanely catchy, repeating I know, showing him speaking to someone about how they played a couple of his songs earlier. Feeling like he shouldn't have left or gone out because he tends to feel better when he is just at home, a very relatable feeling. In the post-chorus, he speaks about getting nervous at the function again, feeling nervous around a group of people, stating people can tell he does not leave his house too much based on how he acts, showing an annoyance and frustration when someone asks him how tall he is, which as a tall man is indeed a very common question that gets irritating. This shows Glaive gets annoyed at how his height is attractive to some people, but feeling it's the only thing seen about him. This song is such a unique vibe for Glaive and it stands out like crazy on this track list for me, one of the most relatable and revisited songs on here for me. The next song is a song of reflection on the loss and pain suffered of Glaive's late friend, Joel. Glaive states things haven't felt the same since Joel's passing, stating it's something he just has to accept and get used to now. He closes his eyes trying to think of what his friend would do if he was there, but struggles to do so, saying, I'm not sure. In the chorus, he shows how everyone around him is happy. Even with everyone laughing and sharing a good time, Glaive sits and reflects on the feeling of abandonment. Glaive feels as if he abandoned Joel through his passing. He wishes he was the one to pass away rather than Joel. He states this sounds a bit macabre, meaning disturbing or horrifying. He says because it's true, it's a horrifying thought or feeling knowing Glaive wishes he were to die rather than his friend. He says there is now a pain involved in everything he does in his life since Joel's passing. Glaive speaks on someone recommending for him to let go of his pain, stating this comment almost led him to punching that person in the face, almost to say, that's stupid, how could I let go of this pain that this caused me, showing how important this human Joel was to Glaive's life. Glaive shares if he learned to let go of his pain, he may forget to remember Joel's name, that showing a feeling he doesn't want to commit to, regardless of the pain it brings him. Glaive shares it's been a long time since his passing, remembering his face and being wrong in so many ways. He's still holding on to these memories and this pain for Joel. He's carrying on his name and his importance regardless of the hurt. In the outro, he mentions how people dance around bringing Joel up. They are avoiding the topic due to the potential heartache and awkward conversations that may follow. Glaive states all he really knows is that it's all for him, showing the love and impact Joel had on those around him. Such a heartbreaking song, beautifully done. It really captures all the pain Glaive presents through the lyrics based on the performance in itself. It's fantastic. Everyone's favorite song, Live and Direct. This song features Kurtains, who I actually quite enjoy a lot, especially on their other song together, Just Not Sure. This song is definitely the most hated on the album. I see it at the bottom of pretty much everyone's list, and although I think it's a weaker song on this project, I don't think it's bad. It just shows the kind of quality Glaive put out with this album. This song has a sick sample and the beat drops, and Kurtains makes sure to let us know that by saying he puts drums on it. He states he knows you're bobbing your head to this track. He follows it by telling someone he wants them all over him, kissing his neck and sucking his what? Kurtains was on freak mode for real, but I digress. Glaive's verse is a standout for me here. He admits the mistakes from his past are his own. He tries to make up for it and make amends by saying he hates who he used to be during those mistakes, saying if things fail then that's okay as nobody's perfect. Glaive states he's in Wales, where he made this track with twin, a term used to describe someone who's like family, someone who shares similarities in your own lifestyle. He says they went Mary, Kate, and Ashley, these being the Olsen twins, connecting the twin lyric fully. He states he will say whatever's on his mind, whatever he is thinking, even if nobody asks him, showing the need to always express himself. There isn't a whole lot lyrically to this song, it's kind of just a fun banger, which I do enjoy, although I do feel it feels a tad bit out of place on this project, and like I said, I enjoy a song like Just Not Sure a lot more. Knock Draw Release is absolutely beautiful and devastating. It begins with Glaive questioning why someone looks so nervous, telling them they look perfect, comforting and supporting this lover of his. He tells them they will marry quite a jealous man, admitting he's jealous and has a lot of issues with that. He tells this person to not believe what people say about him, possibly spreading rumors or a false narrative about who he is, maybe scaring them away from Glaive. He says the sources get contorted from people, meaning they twist the truth, spin the stories to make him out seem to be worse than he is. He tells this person he'd do anything they ask him to do if they just ask him. He states he could have told this person he loves them because he does. It's how he feels. Glaive states in the chorus he does not want to hurt anyone again, showing the regret he has in doing so, saying he will get it right this time, showing he's ready to finally make love work in his life as it has not in the past. Glaive says he's still learning, and in doing so he's realized a part of him isn't hurting, that something isn't right. This, in my opinion, is him saying he is so used to pain and conflict within a relationship or life in general, that if he feels okay, something is actually probably wrong. He tells this person they're an angel and he probably doesn't deserve them. He touches on the concept of putting up walls, showing he hasn't allowed anyone to catch feelings, but if those walls begin to crack and break down, it shows maybe he did indeed find someone that is right for him. He tells this person to leave him before he has the chance to let them down or hurt them himself. This song is so harsh and real and beautiful, and I think it's just such an underrated Glaive song. Praise this song, it's fantastic. Injecting it into my bloodstream as we speak. Thank you. Every Dog Has Its Day is one of the biggest bangers in Glaive's entire music career. Oh my god, what a banger. It begins with him saying he doesn't have to do anything, others will likely do it for him. He has a shocking amount of gun-related lyrics on here, stating he has a drum magazine ready to unload. He states how it's just for show, just to show off the fact he has a gun unless somebody tries to get too close to him, then he will indeed have to unload it. He mentions everyone laughing at someone for something they said, feeling like they were joking, but him saying thought shows us this person may have been serious about something kind of ridiculous. Glaive mentions a single-stack pistol, a PT-740, naming one of the guns he has. He says he never heard of muzzle brakes, which is something to reduce recoil in shooting. This showing when Glaive shoots, he does not miss. I take this as a metaphor for his music career, am I right guys? High five. Anyways, he reassures us he won't shoot anyone, he just likes the color of his weapons. He touches on the two sides of people around him. Someone hating on him, even though they said they loved him just a few days ago, showing how fast people can switch up. Glaive mentions having $100,000 at just 15 years old, as he began his music career at such a young age. This dude is still a kid, really, which is so crazy. He has put in so much work into his craft over the last years, and has been so consistent. He's fantastic, and he mentions the amount of money he makes now, and how it would be rude to say, showing it's an insane amount of money. The term every dog has its day shows that everyone will find success at some point in their life, whether the success is large or small. Glaive repeats every dog has its day until the beat drops so hard it damn near knocked my hairline back. He says not to look into his face, as you'll see the pain in his eyes that he tries to hide. He states that anger is just used to distract the feeling of things changing. He says he finds himself in things he hates, showing he isn't particularly happy with who he is. In the next verse, he mentions a scope used for target shooting and hunting, stating it is on every single one of his rifles. Glaive references the 12 disciples of Jesus who spread the teachings of Christianity. Glaive mentions his dopamine receptors being gone, meaning he gains disinterest in something he once enjoyed. He follows this by letting us know he isn't even excited. Glaive speaks on starting a commotion, saying it was nearly a riot. They told the cops they didn't start it, but even the cops knew they did. He said it's their fault anyways, cause every dog has its day. The song goes stupid and I love it so much. I have nothing bad to say about it at all. Frodian is high-key peak Glaive. I say it about so many songs here, but this is one of the best on the album. Glaive rapping is something I didn't know I needed so bad. Sigmund Freud was a neurologist who believed that all men wanted to be with their mother and all women wanted to be with their father in a sexual way. This has a ton of relevance to the song, as the opening line states Glaive likes girls who act just like his mother, not meaning it in a Freudian type of way, showing Glaive values and loves his mom and thinks she's a good example of a woman he should find for himself, but not wanting to be with his mother. Freud was a menace to society. What is this theory? My god. The Asmat people are an ethnic tribe from Indonesia. They would often claim the heads of their opposition in their culture, where Glaive states he's headhunting, like an Asmat. He shows he's on a different level to people, saying they don't even breathe the same air as him, saying they need a hazmat. being a suit worn to protect people from potential hazards. Glaive states it sounds a little sexist, but they can have the girl thereafter because he's past them and over them. Glaive states he is being conceited, meaning proud or confident. He has my favorite lyric on the song here, stating his therapist thinks he's getting better. He hopes she's right because he doesn't feel it in himself, admitting he may see where she is coming from, as now he likes girls who are mean to him, as long as they look a little bit medieval. Which is so funny and real. He even says that. Sounds funny, but I mean it though, showing he does not mind when a girl is a bit rude to him based on their look and aesthetic. This line cracks me up and also feels embarrassingly relatable. He shouts out his collective SSO3 once more, saying he really breathes that life, he breathes the collective he created. He tells us every song he creates is true, everything he says, he means, he really feels terrible and lives the life he presents. The second verse goes crazy. Glaive opens by saying he's getting World of T-shirts messed up. Joshua Block was a content creator known as World of T-shirts that began making nice little videos that slowly turned into him becoming an alcoholic. This also shows Glaive's relevance in the influencer scene, likely growing up watching this creator or staying in the loop on the media of it all. He once again shouts out SSO3, stating you can tag along. This is fire because the tagline to his work, especially on Ovine Hall, is SSO3. He shouts out his last album, I Care So Much That I Don't Care At All, spelling it out, saying he does not care at all. He says if you got a problem, you can take it up to God. He states he is never right, but he's hardly ever wrong. This song is absolutely elite. Nobody's Fault Except My Own, again, one of the biggest bangers on here. Glaive says to storm the gates. He speaks on being alone again, going back to the verse on Knock Draw Release. He says this person got through his walls. They had it all together, and he said on Knock Draw Release he had to leave before he ruined that. Glaive says he prays to God, stating he should never have gotten involved with this person, likely asking God for forgiveness or a sign into the right direction. Glaive uses a lot of medieval type of world building on this song, here mentioning the swords being drawn. He says the situation is all his fault. He speaks in the chorus that this person never did anything wrong, then immediately contradicts himself, admitting there was one time. He says he took a pill and is dealing with the effects of that. This song has such an epic and powerful chorus, and the post-chorus shows Glaive showing off some pain in his vocal performance, admitting this being his own fault. Glaive references an unreleased song from 2023, $30 t-shirt, where he says he made the bed so he might as well lie in it, $30 t-shirt, he might as well die in it. Where now he says he made the bed, now saying he has a $3,000 t-shirt, still thinking he will die in it. This showing the evolution and wealth he's developed. He says his mom wanted daughters, but admitting her first son was so close. This lyric is insane and quite amusing, showing that he's very self-aware he's a Twinkie. Glaive is admittedly bisexual and quite feminine, and he acknowledges that, and references the fact he's quite close to being a daughter in his own right. The chorus repeats, this song goes crazy. I feel like live, this is gonna go bananas and change my life. By Birthright, ugh, it's so beautiful. He states white doves, red blood on the passenger seat. He tells someone he wouldn't mind if they shot him dead, as long as they do so with compassion, showing as long as they care and feel for him in doing so, he is okay with them pulling the trigger. He questions what is happening to himself, saying he would have done anything for this person, but it not being enough at the end as they still left him. Glaive states it is yours by Birthright. Some context about this is that on a live stream, Glaive mentioned by Birthright being the original name for this album. He had a deep discussion with his mother on this, saying anything you believe in, anything you get, you deserve as it is yours by Birthright. Trazodone, I believe that's how you say it, is a medication used to treat depression. Glaive states he's taking this medication just to fall asleep and feel better, as Glaive has been very open about his struggle with depression throughout his career. He mentions he tries not to talk about these things he does not have much knowledge on, stating it's all yours by Birthright. The song ends with a sample from Season of the Witch, stating if we falter now, the lives we lost will be in vain. It is ours by Birthright. So that is May It Never Falter by Glaive, a truly fantastic project, start to finish. I think this is all around such a solid album with some really high highs and very few lows to even mention. It's been out for a while now and I still struggle on ranking this in his discography. I think I need to do a video of like a comparison or an album battle between May It Never Falter and something like I Care So Much That I Don't Care At All, just to see how I have those songs stacking up. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, seriously please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your favorite songs. Let me know what I missed in this video. It really does mean a lot. These videos take a lot of time, but I have so much fun making them. I'll see you all next time. Peace.